Hello AP students, it's Mr. Fingland here, and if you're watching this, you've probably found Finglish 101. Yes, I've created a YouTube channel, and I hope it works. I'm using my wife's device. I don't even have a device, really. Anyway, hoping to have a few online tutorials to sort of help you put your toes in to these two novels that we're reading in AP language class. All right. The first one, Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, and the second one, The Awakening by Kate Chopin. Two similar yet very different pieces of literature that I think you'll enjoy as you sort of delve into them. I'm asking that you actually read them together rather than one after the other. For example, what I'd like you to do is maybe start off with a chapter in Their Eyes Were Watching God, then switch to The Awakening and read a couple of chapters. You'll find, I think there are about 20 chapters in Their Eyes Were Watching God and just under 40 in The Awakening. And that way you sort of see the parallels between these lady protagonists' experiences, and you sort of see how the plots develop in similar yet different ways. Right? So just a little introduction today. These two pieces are pieces about coming of age, or at least we think they are. Right? The question is of whether or not these are Bildungsromans, or that's a German phrase basically meaning coming of age novel. That's a great question. You know, one of these pieces, Their Eyes Were Watching God, is about a young lady growing up in the Deep South. It chronicles her life from an early teenager into a middle-aged woman, right? And so that seems like it has a lot of the capacity of a Bildungsroman. The second one, The Awakening by Kate Chopin, is a story about a Victorian-era lady from a very prominent Creole southern background. However, we meet her when she's already somewhat middle-aged. Well, maybe not middle-aged, I don't know, people would take offense to that. Maybe in her 30s, right? But she awakens to something about having come of age that's really quite fascinating. And so if you can identify what the awakening is, that can be a really interesting way to look at it. So a couple of things I'd like you to think about. First of all, the thing you're going to notice about the language of these two books, it's really interesting. Their Eyes Are Watching God is written in BEV, otherwise known as Black English Vernacular. So the spelling is a phoneticized spelling of the way people talked in the South in, I think, about the 1910s. So that's kind of an interesting look at culture and literature and identity and language. All of these things that are wrapped up into this piece, which is a really authentic piece, a piece that is well-renowned, but also was kind of frowned upon when it first came out because of the fact that it was in BEV, or Black English Vernacular. The second piece is also kind of interesting because it uses a lot of French, right? So the culture in this piece is a Louisiana Southern culture, what would they call a Creole culture, and you might do a quick Google search on what Creole even means. But the text is interspersed with a lot of French sayings, a lot of French language, a bird that yells things in French. So it's kind of interesting experience that helps develop the local color. So as you delve into these, a few questions that sort of come up as a result of studying these pieces, our essential questions. What does it mean to come of age, right? Or what does that even mean? We could look at is it a moment in time? Is it a progress? Is it something that happens internally? Is it something physical? Who knows? The second one is, these two pieces are about finding happiness in life, especially in the context of being a woman, right? Can't speak to that really much myself, but certainly these texts help us understand what the travels of Janie in Their Eyes Were Watching God and Edna in The Awakening, how they sort of become women of their own right? So that's an interesting question. The other one, should happiness be a pursuit in life? This idea of happiness as something that's pursued by the two characters with very drastic, divergent results at the end. We'd like you to have a look at that. Question about love. How to define love in a society. These two women end up married, sometimes multiple times. It's about a pursuit of happiness through love and identifying love and what to do once you've found love. And this question here, do the awakening and the rise of watching God qualify as Bildungsromans? Right? So we might have you think, maybe do a bit of research on what a Bildungsroman has been traditionally, and whether both of these qualify. That's something to keep in the back of your mind as you're reading. Do these qualify in that traditional sense? And finally, what is feminist literature? Right? These two pieces give us the perspective of women in particular cultures, in particular time periods, in particular societies. Some people might look at these and say, well, these are feminist literature. They have a particular objective. One of the things I ask you to do, and what you'll find in your take-home packet, is just the Wikipedia article, at least the first 16 pages or so, on what feminism is. So as you're reading these, I think there's a place in the outline where you read about what feminism is, how it works, how it's traditionally been held, and that's something we'd like you to think about when you're reading these pieces. Is that qualification? Is The Eyes Were Watching God? Is that a piece of feminist literature? How about The Awakening? Right? That's something we'd like you to examine. Anyway, folks, really excited to be able to contact you this way. I hope it works. There's no guarantee, but you guys are a strong group. You're a dedicated group, and I really appreciate the hard work you've put in. We had an award ceremony planned for when we came back, but of course we never came back. So we had a great time with the Grapes of Wrath mock trial. Very impressive incident. And I hope we can keep that energy up as we try to do this unprecedented type of situation where our nation is facing a challenge that we're going to overcome. Thank you so much, and keep on checking in for future updates and explanations about The Rise of Watching God and The Awakening. Thanks, guys. Bye. I'm going to come over here and awkwardly try to turn this off. Right.